I'm Luke Cerville. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. Well, I just wanted to show you some behind the scenes of two small jobs that I worked on this past week. Sometimes, you have to bypass the larger vehicle, the truck, for a smaller vehicle. In this case, it was a Honda CRV. And what I have room for is basically a hamper full of stuff. And so on this first one, it's at a trade show, and we're looking outside. We had an 800 Joker through a 5-foot octabank, but the way we were lined up, we wanted to take down the intensity of the octabank, and I didn't have any more fronts for it, and I couldn't back up the light, so I had some of those spring-loaded Chimera 6x frames. I put a full grid in front of that, and now that kind of takes out the octabank circle that you like to see in the eye, but hey, you do what you have to do. And so we had that as our setup, and then the DP, John Barons, he had there was a unit from the production company, and there was a unit that he brought, and he brought a 650 that he'd had modified to change out the tungsten for an LED chip in there, and it doesn't run quite as cool as 5600, but it was a nice hard scratch, and we used that for two of the setups, and then we used the sort of an older style 201 Celeb for someone that had just a little lighter complexion, and that worked well. So for the folks at the trade show, our footprint was a little large, but for us it was quite small. And so, you work within those constraints, as you often need to do. And then on this other job, it was a documentary. We were at a hospital, and we were given a conference room that had this incredible view. And again, we used the 800 Joker, but this time just directly through like a half grid, because we really needed to stop to see out those windows. We weren't treating the windows, and we were using the new Panasonic EVA. Well, it's not that new, but new to me. I hadn't seen it before, and so with a good sized lens on it, but a tripod had been forgotten in the mix. So we had to come up with a shitty rig to grab it. So you have the post that supports the zoom, and we grabbed that with the rail with a Cardellini, and that went to a head, and that gave us one axis of the horizon, and then we shimmed up the back of the baby stand to give us the tilt. So not ideal, but we made it work. And then just scratching with a Select 31 through a softbox, and that was with the thickest diffusion, like a magic cloth. And in this situation, both times I brought an interview chair, and often that's an item that's forgotten. You usually think like, oh, we'll find something on location. Well, you don't always have the perfect chair. And sometimes you want people to stand because that, gives a better energy. But if it's a long interview, or if the person is, not as able, then having a chair is really important. And so, and a soft one, and one that you don't see the handles on. And so it's a little detail, but sometimes I like to bring a taller interview chair, and that way, you have some options. So this little setup all fit into a hamper. There's like 4 C-stands, 4 sandbags, a bunch of stingers, an apple box, 2 6x frames, a 4x floppy or a 42x floppy, a 42x ultra bounce, and some longer cutters, and then 4 baby stands. And so just a bunch of grip clips, a little duvetine, and just the bare bones. So now if you want something else, it might not be there. But It allows you to park easily, allows you to, and then that was the situation with the hospital. It was on Mount Parnassus, and there's just, if you don't have parking ahead of time, it's really difficult to deal with it. And if you want to do things in a timely fashion and keep the small, footprint just of your carts in those narrow halls of an old establishment, it's handy to be able to condense things down if you know what you're doing. So anyway, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time.